Hello and welcome to the second Ambifi tutorial. Today we're going to be going over different item types and different attributes for each item. So if you navigate to your home menu on your Ambifi account, you'll see there's a learning tab here. This has different examples and walkthroughs on how to do different things too. Today we're going to be looking at behind the scenes of the kitchen sink, which details different item types you have at your disposal. So Ambifi allows you to build smart procedures. These are the different item types you have. So pretty much you have checkbox, text input, yes or no, single choice, multi-choice, picker, date picker, time picker, address search, and location search, media upload, barcode scanner, and sketchpad. These are all detailed in the documentation section of the Ambifi website. So if you go to item types on that website, it'll show you examples of each one too and tell you the different attributes there. So we'll go into that another day. So we're going to be looking at the simple checkbox for now. This is just a checkbox. So right here you'll see it's all it is, just a label that says simple checkbox. So we can check that off. Here you go, checkbox with two labels right here. This is just the checkbox here. And then the second label shows you with two labels. This is a checkbox without a checkbox. So the way that they do that is just simply by pressing this label only button up here in the attributes tab. And then it'll have an OK button here. You can just tap that to acknowledge it. Checkbox without a checkbox here with a different color. You have label only here. And if you go down to styling for this one, and then click styles, you can change the background color of it, just like you see here. Let's check that one off. And then you can see you can add rich text to checkboxes as well. So the way you do that pretty much is by using Markdown. So pretty much you can look up a Markdown cheat sheet anywhere. It'll tell you basically the syntax for it. Basically, hashtags are for headers, so you have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 there. Let's drag this and make it a little bit bigger so you can see. You can emphasize with bold and italics, so you see this one's bold because you have these little asterisks here, and italics, and then you can even create bolded lists too. Here's a checkbox with comments. So comments are actually a neat functionality of Ambifi. You can add comments that won't be initially displayed to the user. See that you see no comments here, but if you click this button up here, it pulls up the comments and that has rich text as well. So if you need any background information that doesn't need to be immediately displayed, you can do that with comments. And you'll see there's a comments section here. Oops. And this has the rich text editor. You can add any of these comments you want to it. Let's check that one off. Here you go, you have a checkbox with an image here. And the way you do that is just by pretty much, there's an image section here, media image, and then this one's another external self-hosted image here that just shows up beneath the labels. You can even add a video too using the same exact media upload functionality right here. Just click video instead. This mandatory checkbox pretty much is self-explanatory. You have to check that checkbox in order to move on to the next item, and that's under the basic options. That one is mandatory. You can add notes, sketches to any item you need to. Audio override is a special functionality. If you have label here and you don't want this to be read to it, for example, you don't want it to say checkbox with audio override, you go down to here to label 1, label 2 audio override. So pretty much you can say right here if you want the label 2 to read this instead. Or, for example, if you had something that was difficult to pronounce, like Ambifi might not pronounce it correctly, so you could write it out specifically like Ambifi, and then it would correctly pronounce it. Here you have a checkbox with linking that can jump over items. We'll have another tutorial that'll specifically look over how to do linking. Pretty much this will just jump over another item, like this one right here will be jumped over. And yes, it jumped there. You can even link inline too. We'll have another tutorial on that. Jumping, more linking. And just as a side note, all of these different attributes are not specific to the checkbox. Every type of item has this one. Certain item types will have extra ones. For example, text input will have different ones depending on what kind of text you want inputted. And the documentation covers all of that. So take a look there if you want to see those specific item types or just play around to experiment. Thanks for watching. Next video we'll be going over more structure and more of the advanced options.